Why Adam hid.
He didn't run after God spoke. He ran the moment he heard him coming. That's the part nobody talks about. Fear didn't follow punishment. Fear came first. And if you've ever hidden from something that actually loves you, you already know exactly what this story is about. Here's what's strange. Adam had never been rejected before. He had no memory of abandonment, no history of betrayal, no reason to believe love would disappear if he was truly seen. And yet, the instant he became aware of himself, his first instinct was to hide. Why? That question matters more than most people realize, because it's not just Adam's question, it's yours. It's the reason you go quiet in relationships right when they're getting real. The reason you perform confidence you don't feel. The reason you keep certain thoughts locked somewhere and no one is allowed to go. Something in the human story learned to hide before it ever had a reason to. And Genesis captures exactly when that started. Before the fruit, Adam existed without armor, no performance, no self-monitoring, no gap between who he was and how he appeared. He just was. And that might be the most foreign concept in this entire story. Because from a very young age, most people learn that being fully open is a liability. You say the wrong thing, and the room goes cold. You show too much, and someone uses it against you. You need something, and people leave, so you adapt. You learn which version of yourself gets accepted, and slowly, without deciding to, you start offering only that version. Even to people you love, even to yourself. Adam lived before that division existed. Then everything changed in a single moment. Scripture says their eyes were opened. People read that as enlightenment. I think it felt more like exposure, because the first thing Adam notices isn't wisdom or power or clarity. It's nakedness, not just skin, the deeper kind, the kind where you suddenly realize you can be perceived, evaluated, found lacking, and within moments of that realization, he's already reaching for something to cover himself. That instinct is so fast it barely registers as a choice, which tells you everything, because covering yourself isn't something you think through, it's something you feel before thought even begins. Then he hears it. Movement in the garden. Footsteps he would have run toward the day before. And now every instinct says, disappear. I want you to sit with that for a second. This is the same presence that formed him, spoke to him, walked with him, and now he's crouching behind trees. Not because God became dangerous, because Adam became aware that he could be seen, and somewhere between the fruit and the footsteps, he decided. Being seen was the most dangerous thing in the world. That decision didn't stay in the garden. It followed the human story all the way to right now. You can feel it in the person who's been in therapy for years but still can't say the real thing out loud. In the couple who talks about everything except what's actually breaking them. In the high achiever who can't sit still because stillness means facing what success hasn't fixed. You can feel it in yourself. In the moments you laugh when something actually hurt. In the way you say, I'm fine, before anyone even asks. In the exhaustion that has nothing to do with sleep. That's not weakness. That's what shame does to a person. And guilt and shame are not the same thing. This distinction is important. Guilt says, I did something wrong. Shame says, I am something wrong. Guilt can motivate change. Shame just makes you hide. It convinces you that if anyone saw clearly, really clearly, they'd confirm what you already suspect about yourself, that you are too much, or not enough, or both at once. So you manage, you curate, you present, and somewhere in there, the real you stops getting air. Then comes a question that has followed humanity ever since. Where are you? No thunder, no accusation, no spectacle, just that. And I don't believe God was asking about geography. I think he was asking, what happened to you? Why are you afraid of being known by the one who made you? That question has a way of surfacing in the quiet moments people spend their entire lives avoiding. Late at night when the phone dies and the silence gets loud. After the relationship ends and you have to figure out who you are without it. When you finally get the promotion, the house, the life, and something still feels hollow. That's the question breaking through. Where are you? Not your location, your condition. And a lot of people don't have an answer because they've been moving too fast to find out. Modern life makes hiding incredibly efficient. There is almost no silence you can't fill. A notification, a playlist, another episode, another scroll that started for no reason and ended 20 minutes later, with nothing to show for it. It's possible to live an entire life at surface level, surrounded by people, constantly stimulated, completely alone. Because the loneliness that's hardest to admit isn't about being by yourself. It's about being with people and still feeling unseen. That's the loneliness Adam felt crouching behind trees while God walked toward him. Physically present, emotionally hidden, and it's the loneliness a lot of people carry into every room they enter. Here's what hit me differently about this story. God moves toward the hiding place. He doesn't wait for Adam to get it together, doesn't demand he come out clean, doesn't stand at a distance and call for a proper confession. He moves toward the hiding, and then in the middle of failure, shame, and fear, he clothes him. That's the detail that changes everything. The first divine response to human brokenness wasn't a lecture. It wasn't rejection. It was care. Practical, quiet, dignified care. Which means the story of the fall is also somehow the story of being covered. Not ignored, not excused, covered. And I think a lot of people have spent years believing they need to fix themselves before they're approachable, before they can pray honestly, before they deserve to be known. But the movement in this story goes the other direction. God toward the hiding, not the other way around. That doesn't mean nothing matters. It means you don't have to be presentable to be reached. Maybe the real tragedy of Adam wasn't the fruit. Maybe it was the trees, choosing to hide from the presence that was already walking toward him. And people still do this, not because they don't want love, because they've decided, somewhere deep and quiet and unspoken, that love probably won't survive seeing all of it. The parts you've never said out loud, the fear dressed up as confidence, the grief you skipped over because there wasn't time, the version of you that exists at 3 a.m. when nothing is performing anymore. But maybe there's a point, and most people who've lived honestly know this point, where hiding becomes heavier than honesty, where the cost of pretending finally outweighs the fear of being seen. That's not a dramatic moment. It usually isn't. It's quiet. It looks like finally saying the true thing instead of the safe thing. It looks like stopping mid-performance and just not continuing. It looks like stepping out from behind the trees. Not because you've figured everything out, not because you're no longer afraid, just because you're tired. And somewhere in that tired, honest moment, something that was lost a long time ago begins to find its way back.